Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. The internal sabotage and double cross within the UDA will divide that party right in the middle. In fact, William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua are trying to hide their frustration and the fact that they are not reading from the same page, but they will not hide it for long. One thing that is dividing that party in the middle is the Finance Bill 2023, because last year both of them rallied their members of parliament to pass this bill even without reading it, and some of them have confessed to that effect that they did not read it. The member of parliament, Mary Wamaua, said that she didn't take time to read that bill. Now, it later emerged that some of the contents of that bill were really not good for the farmers, especially from Mount Kenya, and they have cried foul and lamented about the levies. To be very precise, the avocado farmers are saying that there are some levies that are contained in that bill that they didn't like. Some members of the parliament literally ganged up with the constituents, and they chased away the KRA officials who went there to sensitize them on how to use the ATMs. Now, it culminated after a lot of consultations. It culminated into Rigathi Gachagua forming a task force that was to look into what is ailing the avocado farmers and to look into these levies and how they can be regulated after passing it in the House. Now, some members of parliament like Gathoni Mushoma challenged Mount Kenya MPs who passed this bill that the only way to reverse it is to go back to parliament and reverse it instead of playing this ping-pong game of hoodwinking their constituents, that they're chasing away the KRA officials and convening meetings, because that will not change the bill. And I remember Edwin Sifuna confronted Rigathi Gachagua while attending one of the burial ceremonies in Nyeri to instruct their members of parliament to get that bill back to the floor of the House so that they can look into it. So it is a serious matter. But when Rigathi Gachagua moved to form a task force to look into the effects of this bill on the avocado farmers, he was getting into direct confrontation with his boss, William Ruto, who had instructed that this bill be passed. And the majority leader in the Senate, Aaron Cheruiyot, had actually gone to his Twitter handle and said that their tea farmers in Rift Valley are paying their levies and taxes, and so there was no need of some people. And he simply meant that there was no way the avocado farmers would be crying that they don't want to pay taxes, and then Rigathi Gachagua rushes to form a committee. And when Aaron Cheruiyot spoke, I believe he was speaking on behalf of William Samoei Ruto. So today, ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto sent Kimani Kuria, I think this is the member of parliament of Molo, and he sent a direct message to Rigathi Gachagua, terming this as foolish and a way of hoodwinking Kenyans. Listen to Kimani Kuria.
Na saa zingine kuna watu ni kama sijui wanavuruta banki ama sijui wanafanya nini. Wamesema ati kuna tax imewekwa ya avocado. Mimi hiyo mswada ya finance bill naijua kama the back of my hand, kwa sababu hiyo bill ni mimi niliweza kuipitisha bunge. Na hakuna kipengele hata kimoja. There is no single clause in the Finance Act of 2023 that introduces taxes to our farmers. Kwa hivyo kama mnataka porojo ya kuchochea wananchi, tafuta ingine. Lakini hakuna any tax. Hiyo sijui mnaita avocado tax. There is no any taxation that was introduced in the Finance Act targeting our farmers. Kwa hivyo wakulima, relax, nyinyi fanyeni kazi kwa bidii, na vile tuliwaahidi tutaendelea kusimama pamoja ili tuhakikishe kwamba pesa imefika mfuko.
Kimani Kuria's sentiments came barely a few days after Mwangi Kiunjuri also praised William Ruto and said that William Ruto has implemented over 80% of the promises to Mount Kenya at a time when Mount Kenya is crying and they're lamenting and they're even regretting why they voted UDA.
Kwa sababu yale yote ambayo tuliomba rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya ametimiza over 80%. 80%. Kwa sababu hii soko tuko naye leo, Jeni atawaelezea itajengwa. Maneno ya housing na nyuki imeanza, Nyahururu pia inaanza. Asante sana governor kwa tupatia shamba ya kujenga housing. Yale yote tuliwaomba. Juzi tu nikawa hapa Nyahururu town. Nikaambia Wachira nimefika kwa sababu watu ya soko wameniita mshango na nikawaletea speakers walikuwa wameniomba. Hawa watu wakanielezea keti na Wachira, hii barabara ya Gishana Road na hii barabara ya Transcam bypass imeharibika. Nikaambia Wachira andika barua nipatie kwa sababu niko kwenye kamati ya barabara. Tukaweka barua Wachira na saa hii rais ameamurisha tena hiyo barabara yenu 4 kilometers zote zijengwe. Sasa kama rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya tukimuomba chochote tunaomba anatutendea. Kwa sababu gani? Sisi kama watu ya Mlima Kenya, na mimi niongee kwa niaba ya watu ya Laikipia County, kama yametendwa na Wachira amesema, na tuko na ushuhuda kwamba tuko na rais ambaye anatusikiza, hata kwa masishi anatumana, anatuma Kagiri, najua lazima David President ako na ujumbe yake, yeye anatujali. Kwa nini tusimjali? Na ndiye nasema mimi nikiwa mheshimiwa Kionjore na wajumbe wengine naomba tukae nyuma ya rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Kama rais ako na maneno inamsonga, kama ni maneno kikiwa na kulalamika kidogo maneno ya kodi, tukumbuke kodi inapitishwa bunge, sio rais anapitisha. Kwa hivyo wajumbe chukue mstari wa kwanza to defend the president.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to the sentiments of those two members of parliament, you will realize that William Ruto is a man on a mission. And one of the things that William Ruto is not going to allow is Rigathi Gachagua to sabotage him. Because as the UDA party leader, he instructed not only UDA but Kenya Kwanza, and they voted in unity, in unison, and passed the Finance Bill 2023. After a few months, some are realizing that they don't like the taxes and levies that are in it, and Rigathi Gachagua wants to emerge as the leader who is looking into the affairs of Mount Kenya. And William Ruto is not going to allow this, because when Rigathi Gachagua is forming a task force and other leaders are saying that they did not read, they want to paint William Ruto as someone who rushed them into this. And Rigathi Gachagua wants to take political mileage, to use this as a campaign tool, to entrench himself as the ultimate and undisputed Mount Kenya kingpin. This is something that William Ruto will not accept. Remember when Rigathi Gachagua started this kind of politics, William Ruto sent Kimani Ngunjiri from Molo, and he told, from Nakuru Molo, he told Rigathi Gachagua that William Ruto never passed through any person. He never passed through any leader in 2022 when he was campaigning. He endeared himself to the people and they voted for him because of his policies and not because of any other leader. In fact, Kimani Ngunjiri went ahead and reminded Rigathi Gachagua that he was not the first choice to become the deputy president running mate, and that the vector was pointing at Kithure Kindiki or Ndindi Nyoro. And this is why I'm telling you that William Ruto is never happy whenever Rigathi Gachagua wants Mount Kenya to rally behind him. Like he has always said that he wants Mount Kenya to rally behind him so that they go to Ruto through him. William Ruto wants to get to Mount Kenya on his own so that he is not subject to any permission from any other. And that is why he sent this member of parliament to go and deliver this message to Rigathi Gachagua. Kimani Kuria simply meant, because he's saying he read the Finance Bill 2023 and there is nothing like avocado levy. The question is, why didn't he tell us where the avocado levy has come from? If it is not from the Finance Bill 2023, it must have come from somewhere. So he was telling them that this is a way of trying to divide, the farmers, and he's telling them, relax. This is very disrespectful to Rigathi Gachagua, who went ahead, confirmed that their plights are genuine. And so he wants to look into the effects of Finance Bill 2023. This young leader has been sent by William Ruto to negate all those claims. And this tells you what William Ruto is made of. It is also an insult, if you ask me, to Mount Kenya farmers and to Mount Kenya residents, together with Mwangi Kiunjuri. Are you telling me that William Ruto has done 80% of the promises? Because if you ask me, someone was joking that maybe the 80% that talking about are the delicacy that was provided in Sagana Lodge, rice and meat. Could that be what they're talking about? Because farmers are still crying about the low tons on agricultural products. The tea farmers are crying, the coffee farmers, pyrethrum, now avocado. So what is it that you can tell Mount Kenya? What is this that contributes 80%? Sometimes people need to wake up, because they are playing with they're simply playing with the collective intelligence of the Mount Kenya people. And if this is the reasoning of some of these leaders, we are doomed. We are doomed, because this is pointing of what will happen into the future. I thought they should be putting Ruto to task to implement the roads that he promised, electricity, the farmers. It cannot be 80% when you are forcing the civil servants from there to pay levies, and you are imposing levies on agricultural products. That cannot be the 80% we are talking about. And Kimani Kuria must understand that the farmers are not fools. Even the KRA officials were sent there they were sent to go and sensitize them on how to pay using the electronically. So when he comes and tells us that it is not contained in the Finance Bill 2023, it's okay. Let's assume it is not contained in the Finance Bill 2023. So where is it contained? And what is the remedy? This is a man-eat-man society, because the last time I checked, the members of parliament should speak on behalf of the farmers, but they keep on defending William Samoei Ruto. It reminds me of the member of parliament from Naivasha, Jane Kihara, when there was a controversy, some land controversy that had pitted William Ruto against the hustlers. Jane Kihara went and read a riot act telling the people, hii ni shamba la Ruto, kama uko sure Ruto alichukua part of your land, kuja hapa tu nikupeleke kwa Ruto. This obsession of defending the executive, defending William Ruto at the expense of common man must stop if Kenya has to move on. It is not helping at all. Members of parliament were elected by wananchi, not by William Samoei Ruto. And I think there is the role of a member of parliament is representation. They're supposed to represent their people. Oversight. They're supposed to exercise oversight on William Samoei Ruto, not this kind of bootlicking. It's not helping at all. And Mwangi Kiunjuri and this member of parliament, I think they are lost. If you ask me, I'm not coming from Mount Kenya, but I feel for the farmers. If others are trying to help and some members of parliament like this are putting some stumbling block. But then, as I always finish, they voted for this bill. They voted for William Samoei Ruto. In fact, I remember when the opposition decided even to go to the street to try and compel William Ruto to erase this Finance Bill 2023, they were tear gassed. And Rigathi Gachagua said that the opposition was only hell-bent on trying to sabotage their agenda and to ensure that they close their businesses. Kina Waramba Sai, it is their bed, they made it and they should lie on it. And the seekers continues. We are waiting for episode 3 in the UDA seekers, because this is just the beginning. It is Ruto versus Rigathi Gachagua, sending members of parliament to send direct messages. And that is my take.